When it comes to vehicle maintenance and repairs, Stevens Point knows you can always put your trust in Auto Select. Keeping up with vehicle maintenance is often an inconvenience, but with locations on Highway 10 East and Church Street in Plover, Auto Select will have you back on the road in no time. Enjoy their 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty along with shuttle service and loaner vehicles for your convenience. Quality, dependable, automotive care experts you can trust. In Stevens Point and Plover, at Auto Select, you're good to go.
Braylon Smola, batting eighth, catcher, number 2, David Kobach. Batting ninth, the pitcher, number 23, Josh Opiola.
All right, we are out here at Simon Field here out at DC Everest High School. Our starting lineups here, our Auto Select pregame show here. Auto Select is Stevens Point's best choice for auto repairs, maintenance, and tires. They have complete auto repair services with locations on Church Street and on Highway 10 East in Stevens Point and on Schofield Avenue in Weston. No matter your automotive needs, look to Auto Select and you're good to go. So we'll get our starting lineups here. Our Auto Select pregame show. We'll start with Stevens Point. Starting lineups, Jacob Garth will hit first, playing at short. Noah Marschke will hit second tonight. He'll play at first. Peyton Flea is hitting in the third spot in center field for the Sixers. Caden Adam hitting cleanup tonight over at third base. Matthew Ostrowski over at second base. He'll hit fifth. Zach Richter will hit sixth tonight and play right field. Braylon Smola out in left field. He'll hit seventh. Dayton Kobach to do the catching tonight for the Sixers. He'll hit eighth, and Josh Opiola will round things out here. He'll pitch tonight and hit ninth for the Sixers. On the other side of the coin for Wausau, Oliver Tarosky will lead it off. He'll be the designated hitter tonight, followed by Tony Eifeldano. He'll hit second and play second base. Luke Smogaleski will play first base and hit third. Dylan Dobrats hitting in the cleanup spot and playing left field. Caden Worth hitting fifth tonight in center field. Jesse Osnes hitting sixth tonight at third base. Jackson Albee will hit seventh and play right field. Jack Bartles playing short tonight. He'll hit eighth. And Ryan Rodemeyer will round things out here for Wausau. He'll catch tonight and hit ninth. And Lucas Hager gets the start, the right-hander tonight here for Wausau. Our Auto Select pregame show. Our pregame sponsor here with locations on Church Street and on Highway 10 East in Stevens Point and on Schofield Avenue in Weston. No matter your automotive needs, look to Auto Select and you're good to go. So Stevens Point comes in here with an overall record of 20-7. They're head coached by Bobby Opiola, assisted by Brian Klisch and Brendan Klisch. On the other side, Wausau head coached by Tom Magnuson. They come in with an overall record of 14-21. First regional game here for both squads here in the 4 o'clock start. Out here at Simon Field on Zaleski Sports, Brandon Barancott on the call here. We've got Dan Lau, Mike Wendlandt, Cale Jacoby, and a few others here bringing you this game today. Pretty nice day for some regional baseball action. And again, as we mentioned, Lucas Hager will get the start here for Wausau. Lucas, the right-hander, comes in here with a 7 games pitched here. He's 1-1 on the year here, and Jacob Garth will lead things off here for the Sixers. Stevens Point, the away team in this one. Wausau, the home team. Jacob Garth will lead things off. Leadoff hitter, he was our Zaleski Sports Highlight House player last Wednesday, one of the upperclassmen here. He's a .365 hitter for the Sixers. 15 stolen bases. Hager's first pitch, we're underway, and that is in there for a called strike one. So it's 0-1 now to Garth. Hager's 0-1 offering. That's hit in the air out to right center. Play going to be made out in right field. That's Jackson Albee to retire Jacob Garth. The F9 if you're scoring at home for out number 1, and that'll bring up Noah Marschke now, the first baseman here. As a hitter, Noah comes in here averaging .380, 20 RBIs on the season for Noah. And he'll swing and miss through the first pitch from Hager. Oh, it's 0-1 now to Marschke. Peyton Flees, the on-deck hitter for the Sixers. Hager's pitch misses down, and it's 1-1 now to Marschke. Ball hit pretty hard. That'll be playable from Osnes over to Smogileski for the second out. The 6-3 ground out for Marschke for out number 2, and that'll bring up Peyton Flees now with 2 outs for the Sixers. Peyton Flees, the Pacelli graduate, he comes in here hitting .329 here on the season, Peyton does. And he'll take ball 1 from Hager, so it's 1-0 now to Flees. Flees with a couple of home runs here. He led the team in home runs here. He's now 1-1 here to Flees. Hager's 1-1 offering. Just misses, so it goes 2-1 now to Flees. Well, the 2-1 pitch here to Flees, that misses down low. It goes hitter's count now, and 3-1 to Peyton Flees. So the 3-1 pitch here from Hager to Flees. And that's going to be fouled. That will be out of play. So count goes full now to Peyton. And Peyton leading the team in home runs here with 2. He'll hit that over to Hager. Hager will put a glove on it. He'll make the play, the 1-3 put out. And a 1-2-3 inning for Lucas Hager. 3 up, 3 down. So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We'll move to the bottom half of inning number 1. Regional American Legion baseball here on Zaleski Sports. We will be back here in a moment.
If you're looking for delicious, you've found it at Rock and Roll Cafe in Stevens Point. This family-oriented 50s-themed cafe is open 7 to 3 daily with a great diverse menu of American and Mexican breakfast and lunch options. Enjoy dine-in or carry-out 7 days a week and always served quickly, fresh, with a smile. For the full menu and more about this local Stevens Point gem on Stanley Street, visit rockandroll.cafe.
Customize your next apparel order with Maida Custom Apparel of Stevens Point. Visit us today for custom baseball and softball apparel. Need help with a design? We have you covered. Our highly skilled staff will turn your idea into a reality with great quality screen printing. Or choose from a variety of embroidery options today. Visit us at our physical store or online at maidacustom.com.
All right, we are back out here for the bottom half, inning number 1 here. Wausau, Lucas Hager with a 3 up, 3 down half inning here. And Josh Opiola gets the start here on the hill for the Sixers. He comes in here with an overall record here of 6-1. Leads the team in ERA at 1.09. 31 strikeouts versus the 4 walks. Josh appeared in, this will be his 9th game here today. Josh just completed his first year over at Bryant Stratton College. Josh had a phenomenal year here in this regular season. One of those pitchers had a chance to cover this team for a good majority of their games. He's one of those guys, kind of reminds me similar to like a Greg Maddox. He's efficient, induces a lot of ground ball outs, lives around the strike zone, kind of nibbles the corner, very efficient workhorse type pitcher. Here for the Sixers, he'll start from the stretch. And his first pitch is fouled off, and that's Oliver Tarosky. Oliver comes in here as a .274 hitter coming into tonight's game. Opiola's 0-1 pitch here from the stretch. That's going to be hit down the first base line and foul. So it goes 0-2 now here to Tarosky. Oliver, the designated hitter in this one. Opiola looking for his signs from his catcher and Dayton Koback there. The 0-2 offering here, and That is a called third strike, and that'll be the first Serve Pro Jamie Wenzel strikeout here for Josh Opiola. Call Jamie Wenzel at Serve Pro for the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration. So 1 out now here, and Tony Eifeldano coming up. Tony, a .286 hitter here for Wausau. Right-hander. Opiola working here with 1 out. Yeah, on the ground, that's going to be chopped foul. Coach Magnuson barehanding it. Nice play there by Tom, showing that svelte-like moves out there. So it's an 0-1 count now to Eifeldano. Tony, the second baseman here tonight. Opiola's 0-1 offering here to Tony, and that'll be a ball, and it goes to 1-1 now to Tony. Luke Smogoleski, the on-deck hitter here for the Wausau Bulldogs. The bottom half of inning #1 here. And that's in there for a called strike, so it's 1-2 now to Eifeldano. Josh said here. 1-2 pitch on the way, and this is high, so it goes 2-2 now to Eifeldano. Oh, the 2-2 pitch here from Opiola, and that's swung on, that's hit out into left. Playable, and that'll be the F7 for the second out. That's Braylon Smola to make the play out and left. So 2 outs now here for Luke Smogoleski. Luke hits .316, leads the team co-leader in terms of home run production here. 21 RBIs for Luke. On this Legion season, Opiola working with 2 outs, and he's in there for a called strike to Smogoleski. And it's 0-1 now. Luke, the first baseman here for the Bulldogs. It's an 0-1 count here. Opiola, and that's swung on and fouled back into the netting here. So it goes 0-2 now. Smogoleski, the 21 RBIs on the year, the 2 home runs, 19 runs scored, .316 hitter on the year. That ball hit pretty hard. Going back on it, that's going to be over Richter's head. That'll be to the fence, and Smogoleski going in for second. He'll try for third, and he will be in with a stand-up triple. So Smogoleski to lead things off here with a stand-up triple, the first hit by either team here. And a stand-up triple, and that'll bring up Dylan Dobratz. Dylan, a .311 hitter, the right-hander. Actually, he is technically the team leader in home runs with 3. So 3 home runs, 22 RBIs, a .311 hitter. He looks at ball 1 now, so it's 1-0 to Dobratz. Smogoleski over at third. And Opiola's fastball in there for strike, so it's 1-1 now. Opiola working with a 1-1 count here and 2 outs. Ball hit on the ground, and that'll be in the hole. That'll be a base hit, and Smogoleski will score the first run of the game here. First run for Wausau. So a couple hits here in a row, and Dobratz aboard now at first. And that'll bring up Caden Worth. Caden coming in here as a .290 hitter, a couple of home runs, 14 RBIs. Wausau first to strike here. Worth fouls that one out of play. So it's 0-1 now to Worth. Opiola going up in a strike. Swing and a miss there from Worth, so it's an 0-2 count now. Jesse Osnes, the on-deck hitter for Wausau. Should Caden reach here? And that's a called strike 3 and the third out. So 1 run, a couple hits, one left on here, no errors. We'll move to the top half of inning number 2 here. Wausau out front 1-0 in this regional baseball contest here between the Sixers and the Bulldogs here of Wausau. You're listening to and watching American Legion Baseball, regional baseball here on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment.
At Nicolay Bank, we believe that our hometown communities are the backbone of what makes Wisconsin special. From Crivets to Manitowoc and Algoma to Grand Chute, you see a thriving community with Nicolay Bank working as a partner, acting not as a corporation, but a community. When we serve together with local entrepreneurs and leaders, great things happen. That is our guiding principle. A strong and successful hometown means a strong and successful Wisconsin. We are proud to be a part of that. Nicolay Bank. Real people, real conversations.
All right, we are back here. One of our many game day sponsors, Felt's Dairy. The culture of Wisconsin is forever tied to life on the farm. Bring the family for a visit to Felt's Dairy Store in Stevens Point. Cheeses, dairy products, local meats, seasonal decor, and so much more. Felt's Dairy Store, food, family, and fun. Also brought to you today in part from SC Swiderski and SCS Apartment. Our home is where you want to live, work, and play all throughout central Wisconsin, the Chippewa Valley and the Fox Valley. No matter where you live, look to SC Swiderski to make you feel right at home. Visit scswiderski.com for more. So top half inning number 2 here, and Caden Adam coming up here. Lucas Hager in for his second inning of work. And Adam, baseman here tonight. We've seen him out on the hill, one of stable of arms for Coach Opiola's Sixers squad, and he looks at strike 1, so it's 1-1 now to Adam. Caden, a .348 hitter on the year, 14 RBIs. He'll foul that one off. So it'll go to 1-2 now to Caden Adam. Jacob Garth hustling for that foul ball. Well, the 1-2 offering here, and that's get out to left, and the F7 to retire Caden Adam for out number 1. And that was Dylan Dobrats to make the play. So there's 1 out now for Matthew Ostrowski. Matthew, the Rosholt product, just finished off his sophomore year, I guess, a couple months ago now in high school, and been kind of one of the mainstays here for the Sixers. A couple different positions. He looks at ball 1. Matthew, a .378 hitter here for the Sixers. And Matthew looks at a called strike, so it's 2-1 now to Ostrowski. Hager's 2-1 pitch here, and that's hit in the air and playable here, and Smogoleski will make the play out at first for the second out. The F3 to retire Ostrowski. 2 outs now for Zach Richter. Zach, the right fielder here tonight. We've seen him. He's one of the other right-handed pitchers as well for Coach Opiola and the Sixers. That ball hit. That'll be a base hit for Zach Richter. So the first hit here for the Sixers.
Now batting the left fielder, number 21, Braylon Smola.
And that'll bring up Braylon Smola now, the left fielder tonight. Braylon, a .267 hitter on the year. 5 RBIs, 7 stolen bases for Braylon. Richter aboard now. Hager working from the stretch. The pitch, that missed high, so it goes 1-0 now to Smola. So Hager working from the stretch. He'll check back on Richter there over to Smogoleski. Zach back in safely there, and it's 1-0 count coming up here to Braylon Smola. And that'll miss, so it goes 2-0 now to Smola. Dayton Kobach, the on-deck hitter here for Stevens Point. Pitch coming up here to Smola, and that's in there for a called strike. 2-1 now. Had a chance to cover the Sixers for a number of games, and they do a lot of different things very well. I would say one of the things they do well is they're very disciplined on the base pass, put a lot of pressure on the defense, the pitching, a lot of small ball, some very good timely bunting, some, just a lot of different things. They mix things in, and thus the reason they were the conference champions this year, first time since 2002 for the Sixers. It's 2-2 count now to Smola. That skips down low, and it goes full now. It's a full count coming up here to Braylon Smola. As we mentioned, a lot of different things this Sixers team does. Coach Opiola, I know, has mentioned they go 5 deep in their pitching rotation. Certainly the top of that rotation, Josh Opiola and Noah Marshke in no particular order. Richter going, the swing and a miss. Smola, and that will be the third out. Smola down on strikes here for out number 3. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 left on, no errors. We'll move to the bottom half of inning number 2. Wausau with the early 1-0 lead. Move to the bottom of inning number 2. You're listening to and watching American Legion Regional Baseball out here at Simon Field on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment.
You're tuned in to Better Halves. Mike, what are you looking for?
Skip, I'm not getting older. I'm getting better. I still got big plans for my life and my Medicare.
I know exactly what you want from Medicare. Same as all the other guys. Me!
Hey, Mike, I'm Sheila from Security, and I'm just like you. In fact, I'm from your neighborhood, and I've got a Medicare plan that treats you like you.
Did it just get better in here?
Hello, Wisconsin. Phelps Dairy Store in Stevens Point is your spot for family fun, Wisconsin style at the farm. Come have an ice cream or some of their daily made fresh cheese curds while observing the robotic barn milking the cows. Ask for a tour of the farm or let the kids see the cows up close. Various Wisconsin-made dairy and beef products, seasonal decor, and outdoor activities are just the start of the family fun that awaits you at the Phelps Dairy Store, just a half mile from Walmart in Stevens Point. Phelps Dairy Store, food, family, and fun.
All right, we're back here. Bottom of second coming up here. Jesse Osnes will lead things off here in the second half, or the bottom of inning number 2 here for Wausau. Opiola fires a strike in there for a called strike 1 to Osnes. Jesse, a .375 hitter here for Wausau. 13 RBIs. And he looks at strike 2, so it's an 0-2 count now here. Opiola working from the stretch here for Stevens Point. The 0-2 offering here to Osnes. That's hit on the ground over to Ostrowski at second, and he'll retire Osnes for out number 1, the 4-3 if you're scoring at home. And that'll bring up the right fielder and Jackson Albee. Jackson, a .264 hitter on the season. 12 RBIs, 10 runs scored. We're in the bottom half inning number 2, early goings here. Wausau out front 1-0. And Opiola comes in there with a strike. Albee down 0-1 now. Jack Bartles, the on-deck hitter for Wausau. Ball hit on the ground. Adam will make the play over there. The throw over to Noah Marshke at first for the second out. So the 5-3 put out to retire Albee for out number 2. And Jack Bartles coming up now, the shortstop. Jack, a Bartles on base percentage 313 on the season. He's at 10 RBIs on the year. And he hits that in there, and that's a base hit for Bartles. So a 2-out single for Jack, and that'll bring up Ryan Rodemeyer now. Ryan.
Now batting the catcher, number 1, Ryan Rodemeyer.
Ryan, a 292 hitter, 11 RBIs on the season. Ryan doing the catching here in this one. Bartles aboard with 2 outs now, and Opiola working from the stretch here for Stevens Point. Wausau with the 3 base hits here thus far. And fastball in there from Opiola to Kobach for called strike 1 to Rodemeyer, and it's 0-1. Opiola set, and that'll be in there for a called strike 2. So 0-2 now. Opiola's pitch, that's going to be hit over, and a play will be made by Ostrowski for the 3rd out.
Pitch count for Opiola after 2 innings, 26. Opiola, 26.
So 1 hit, no runs, runner left on. We'll move to the 3rd inning of play here. Wausau out front, 1-0. You're listening to and watching American Legion Regional Baseball here on Zaleski Sports. Inning number 3 coming up here. Back in a moment.
Rich, creamy, and fun. Point Craft Soda. Caffeine free, made with 100% real sugar. From Stevens Point Brewery.
Hi, I'm Shai from Next Step Prosthetics. 5 years ago, we opened our practice to provide life-changing prosthetics that are both comfortable and functional.
I would definitely recommend Shai.
Shai is very compassionate, caring.
We've grown to serve patients throughout Wisconsin. We want to thank them, their families, and providers who have trusted us on their journey.
Go to Next Step, because it's going to change your life.
Why wait another day? Call to set up a free, no-obligation evaluation. Let us take the next step together towards a better life.
All right, we are back here, inning number 3 here. One of our many game day sponsors today, Next Step Prosthetics, providing prosthetic and orthotics throughout central Wisconsin. Take your next step and contact them today. Also brought to you today in part by Express Employment. Express Employment Professionals has relationships with all the local businesses and job openings. Call or stop in at Express Employment to find the right career path for you.
Leading off the top of the 3rd, catcher number 2, Dayton Kobach.
So Dayton Kobach will lead things off here in the top half of inning number 3 for the Sixers. And he will be hit by pitch, so Kobach aboard.
Now batting pitcher number 23, Josh Opiola.
And that'll bring up Josh Opiola now. Josh comes in here with a 216 average, the 10 RBIs, 11 runs scored here. Kobach down at first here, nobody out. Hager in his 3rd inning of work. He'll check on Kobach over at first there. So Stevens Point with the 1 hit here thus far, and Coach Magnuson will come out and say a few words. We'll stay right here. Sandon Carpet One. Sandon Carpet One on Post Road in Plover is here to floor you with the best in all of your carpeting and flooring needs, whether for your home or business. You'll find help with choosing the right look and material, bringing flooring to the next level. That's Sandon Carpet One on Post Road in Plover. So Opiola now with Kobach down at first, nobody out here. We're in the top half of inning number 3. Wausau with the 1-0 lead here in the early goings. Opiola showing bunt. He'll bunt that one foul. And it goes to 0-1 now. Here's a 0-1 pitch. Opiola gets the bunt down. And play will be made. The 5-3 for out number 1 there. Kobach advances to second on that. And that'll bring up Jacob Garth. He's 0 for 1 here tonight in this one. He flew out to right field in his first at-bat, back over in inning number 1. Garth, the leadoff hitter. Kobach aboard, runner in scoring position now for Stevens Point. And as we mentioned earlier, Garth, a .365 hitter, the leadoff hitter for the Sixers. One out with Kobach over at second. And Hager misses, so it's 1-0 now to Garth. Hager's 1-0 offering here to Garth. Ball hit on the ground. That's playable, and play will be made there. That's Jack Bartles, the 6'3", to get the second out on Garth. And Noah Marschke coming up, but Dayton Kobach now at third. Noah Marschke 0 for 1 here, grounded to short in his last at-bat. Back over in inning 1 here. Stevens Point looking to try to get on the board with Kobach over just 90 feet or so away here from the first run for Stevens Point, and Noah looks at a called strike one. So it's 0-1 now to Marschke. That ball hit over to Bartles. He'll make the play and retire Marschke for the third out. No runs, no hits, no errors. The runner left on. We'll move to the next inning of play here. You are listening to and watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment.
Let your job journey begin at Express Employment Professionals. Find hundreds of employers looking for a candidate like you, all in one place at one time. And let Express Employment help connect you with your future career. With locations in Stevens Point, Wausau, Marshfield, and Medford, you'll find local jobs right in your community, including direct hire and evaluation to hire opportunities. Express Employment specializes in light industrial, skilled trades, professional, and office careers. Begin your job journey today with Express Employment Professionals at expresspros.com.
After a couple years of a job that doesn't fit, it's time for more money, more opportunity. That is where Mid-State Technical College comes in. Would cooking be a good fit? Try on a career in welding. Perhaps the outdoors suits you better. Or maybe helping people is a better fit. No matter your path, we've got cutting-edge classes with field-trained professionals and better tuition options, making Mid-State the perfect fit.
All right, we are back here at Zaleski Sports. One of our many game day sponsors here today, Shuta Funeral Home. Shuta Funeral Home is your local family-owned and operated funeral home committed to serving families with compassionate, individualized, and affordable funerals at Shuta Funeral Home of Stevens Point and Plover. Also brought to you today in part by the Rock and Roll Cafe. Treat the whole family to breakfast or lunch at the Rock and Roll Cafe. Mexican and American dishes cooked to perfection daily on Stanley Street in Stevens Point. So Oliver Tarosky will lead things off here in this bottom half of inning number 3. He is 0 for 1 here tonight. Struck out looking in his first at-bat, back over in inning 1. Opiola out for his third inning of work here from the stretch, and that'll miss, so it is 1-0 now to Oliver. And Oliver, the .274 hitter here on the season, he'll foul that one away, and it's 1-1 now. So a 274 hitter with eight RBIs on the year, 17 runs scored. 6 stolen bases for Tarosky. The 1-1 pitch, and that'll be lined out into right field to Richter. A base hit for Tarosky. His first hit here this afternoon.
Second baseman, Tony Eiffeldano.
Tony Eiffeldano now coming up. With Tarosky over at first. Tony is 0 for 1 here in this one. He flew out to left field in his first at-bat. Back over in the first. So Oliver Tarosky over at first. The bunt being placed, and Dayton Kobach will make the play on it to retire Eiffeldano for the first out here in the F2, and Luke Smogoleski coming up.
First baseman, Luke Smogoleski.
Luke had that triple run scored back in the first inning. So Luke 1 for 1 here today. Ball that was hit to the warning track out in right center field. And Opiola misses down, so it's 1-0 now to Luke. So 1 out here, bottom half of inning number 3. Wausau out front, 1-0. They've got the 4 hits today. Smogoleski fouls that one off into the backstop, goes 1-1 now. So Opiola working out of the stretch here with Tarosky over at first. Josh set his pitch. And that's a called strike, so it's a 1-2 count now to Luke Smogoleski. Marschke over there at first for the Sixers. And the runner going here, and Smogoleski will foul that one back, so count remains 1-2 now. Tarosky will retreat back over to first. Stop Construction is a premier builder of municipal and industrial water and wastewater treatment systems in the Midwest. Stop Construction, a 100% employee-owned company. A 1-2 count now here to Smogoleski. And that's going to be through there for a base hit, and Luke's second hit here this afternoon. So Tarosky goes to second now, and Smogoleski at first. A 2-hit day for Luke. And that'll bring up Dylan Dobrats now. Dylan is 1 for 1. He singled it back over in inning number 1. Dylan, the .311 hitter on the season here. The leader in home runs with 3, 22 RBIs. Hitting here in the cleanup spot, and a couple runners aboard now, and Opiola's pitch misses down low. So Opiola working out of the stretch. Couple of runners on, 1 out. Dobrats will foul that one off, so it goes to 1-1 now. Caden Worth, the on-deck hitter for Wausau. We are in the bottom of the 3rd inning here. Wausau out front, 1-0. With Tarosky down at second and Smogoleski over at first. And Opiola in there for a swing and a miss to Dobrats, so it's 1-2 now. Opiola likes his sign here. He'll fire in that ball, hit out to Richter and right. Richter will make the play, and tagging up is Tarosky. He'll go to third. Smogoleski will stay at first, and there's 2 outs now here, and Caden Worth coming up. So Dobrats retired for the second out, the F9, and Caden Worth. Caden 0 for 1 now in this one. He struck out swinging, or I beg your pardon, looking. That was back in the first. 2 outs with runners at the corner now. Opiola going high fastball in there and Worth swinging through that, so it's 0-1 to Caden. Worth will foul that one off, so it's 0-2 now. Caden, the .290 hitter here for Wausau. A couple of home runs, 14 RBIs on the season. So it's 0-2 now to Worth. With Tarosky at third and Smogaleski down at first. Opiola's pitch. And that'll be a called third strike, and that's a Serb Pro Jamie Wenzel strikeout for Josh Opiola, his second here. Called Jamie Wenzel, Serb Pro for the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration. No runs, a couple hits, a couple runners left on. We move to the next inning here. You're listening to and watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love home furniture.
Hi, this is Jill from Home Furniture and Design. Since 1970 and 4 generations, our family has been proudly offering quality furniture like Lazy Boy, Serta, and Amish to Central Wisconsin. We also offer free in-home design with our professionally trained designers to help you create a space that is uniquely yours, whether it's just a sofa or the entire home.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love home furniture.
West Grand Avenue, Wisconsin Rapids, and Post Road in Plover.
Why work for Staub Construction?
Everybody around you is just family.
Everybody seems to bond together and get along good, and
They, I believe, truly care about their employees.
Staub has a great benefits package.
Staub is an employee-owned company that puts a large emphasis on work-life balance.
And everybody wants to see everybody succeed.
it's a good place to work.
Join the team at Staub Construction. Apply now at staubco.com.
All right, we're back here. Top half of inning number 4 coming up. Cheese Pleasers. Cheese Pleasers in Bancroft is a local hidden gem filled with all the finest cheeses, snack sticks, cheese curds, and cheese trays for Wisconsin's finest cheese. Stop at Cheese Pleasers right off I-39 in Bancroft. So Peyton Fleas here will lead things off. Lucas Hager out for his 4th inning of work. Lucas just the 1 hit surrendered here thus far through 3 innings strong. And Flea's going to hit that one out to left field, and that will be play made out there by Dylan Dobrats for the first out here in this top half of inning number 4. So the F7 to retire Fleas for out number 1, and Caden Adam coming up. Caden 0 for 1 here today. He flew out to left back in inning number 2. 348 hitter, as we mentioned in his last at-bat on the season, and a ball for ball 1. It's 1-0 now to Adam. That ball just misses, so it goes 2-0 now to Adam. Fairly quick moving game here. We're already in the top half of the 4th inning. And Hager in there with a called strike to Adam, so it's 2-1 now. 2-1 pitch here to Adam, and that misses out, and it's 3-1 now. So Hager looking pretty good here. He's .294 ERA on the season for Wausau. Adam will be aboard with a base on ball. First for Hager thus far. And that'll bring up the second baseman here in Matthew Ostrowski. Matthew is 0 for 1. He flew out to first in his last at-bat. Matthew, again, the .378 average on the season for the Sixers. And he looks at a called strike now, so it's 0-1. We got Caden Adam over at first for the Sixers. Hager checking on Adam, and Smogaleski applying the tag. Adam back in okay, so it's the 0-1 count now for Hager to Ostrowski. That'll miss down low, so it goes to 1-1 now. Stevens Point, just the one base hit here through the 3 1/3 innings. Throw back over to Smogaleski to check on Adam over there. Zach Richter, the on-deck hitter here for Stevens Point. And Ostrowski lifts that one. That's going to be made out at just in the shallow depths of center field there by Jack Bartles. So Ostrowski, the F6 now, in the second out, and Zach Richter coming up. Zach 1 for 1 today at a base hit back in inning 2 in his last at-bat. So 2 outs here with Richter up. Adam over at first. Eggers pitch from the stretch. That first pitch hit out to center, going back on it. And the play will be made in center by Caden Worth for the 3rd out. No runs, no hits. No errors, a runner left. We'll move to the bottom half of 4. You're listening to and watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment.
Culligan Water delivers. From your first call, to your first sip, to your first soak. Culligan, give us a tap. The only water that comes with a van.
Shuda Funeral Home in Stevens Point and Plover is your local, family-owned and operated funeral home providing families with compassionate, individualized, and affordable services when you need it most. The loss of a loved one is a difficult fact of life that Shuda Funeral Home will ensure you won't have to face alone. Shuda Funeral Home will guide you through the process from in-person visitations to creating obituaries and tributes. Pre-planning can also be a great way to ease these topics for your family. Learn more at shudafuneral.com or bring your questions and stop in.
All right, we are back out here. Zaleski Sports bringing this one to you today here from Simon Field. One of our many game day sponsors today, Little Scholars Childcare. Little Scholars and Little Scholars Beginnings are 2 beautiful childcare and preschools in Stevens Point, offering early child learning for infants through 4K. You'll find great facilities and a comfortable environment to help your child grow. Visit littlescholars.com. Also brought to you today in part from Fleet Farm. Fleet Farm has everything you need for summer fun on the water. Check out their huge selection of kayaks, water towables, fishing gear, and more. Shop in store at a store near you or online at fleetfarm.com. So Opiola will be back out to work his 4th inning of work here. We move to the bottom half of inning 4. Jesse Osnes, Jackson Albee, and Jack Bartles. So 6, 7, and 8 coming up now for Wausau. They have the 1 run on 4 base hits here today. And Osnes 0 for 1. He grounded out to second in his last at-bat. Opiola making sure his whole squad is in play, and they look to be. Josh working from the stretch. He's set the pitch here to Osnes, and that's in there for a called strike. So it's 0-1 now to Jesse. Opiola's pitch, that'll miss, so it goes to 1-1 now to Osnes. And Jesse, the 375 hitter here on the season, coming into today's contest. 13 RBIs for Jesse. And it's 1-2 now to Jesse. Opiola set here, and his pitch misses, so it goes 2-2 now to Jesse Osnes. Jackson Albee, the on-deck hitter over there for Wausau. 2-2 pitch will miss down low, and it's full now. Viola works from the stretch here with a full count to Osnes, and that ball hit out to center, and Fleas going back on it. He'll make the play for the first out. The F8 to retire Jesse Osnes for out number 1. That'll bring up Jackson Albee. Jackson 0 for 1 today. He grounded over to third in his last at-bat. Jackson a .264 average on the season with 12 RBIs. And Opiola in there for a called strike to Albee, so it's 0-1 now. Jackson, the starting right fielder in this one here today. That'll miss down low, and it's 1-1 now to Jackson. Jack Bartles on deck for Wausau. That'll miss. So it's 2-1 now to Albee. Viola, and that'll be in there for a called strike. So it goes even now to Albee. Viola's 2-2 pitch here from the stretch. And that'll just miss, so it goes full now. We're in the bottom of inning number 4 here with 1 out. Wausau with the 1-0 advantage here thus far. Pretty clean baseball game by both teams, both defensively and certainly pitching-wise. 5 hits between the two teams here. Wausau with the 4 hits and Point with a 1 hit here thus far. A full count here to Albee. And Albee will be hit by a pitch here now, so he'll be aboard. And that'll bring up the shortstop here in Jack Bartles. Jack is 1 for 1 here. He singled back in inning number 2 for Wausau. He's got a lead runner in Albee at first. And Coach Opiola will come out and say a few words here. We'll stay right here unless there's a change. I don't think that there probably would be at this juncture, but maybe just say a few words to his right-hander here and the rest of the Sixers squad. It's been a pretty quick-moving baseball game, pretty well-pitched game, as you can well imagine, between these two squads. The 5 hits between the two teams. Opiola certainly pitching very well, as has Lucas Hager. Clean baseball defensively. No, actually, it may just be the 1 error thus far in the game. There's 1 out now here for Bartles. And Albee over at first. And that ball going to be hit out of play and foul. So it's 0-1 here now to Bartles. Albee with a lead over at first. Opiola's pitch, another one fouled off. Nearly the same spot there, and it goes 0-2 now. 1 out with Rodemeyer, Ryan Rodemeyer, that is, in the on-deck area for Wausau. The 0-2 count here to Bartles, and he'll get a bat on that. Noah Marschke going to retreat in foul territory to make the play. And out number 2 to retire Jack Bartles on the F3 in foul territory. And that'll bring up Ryan Rodemeyer. Lined out to second base in his last at-bat, so he's 0 for 1 here today. A .292 hitter on the season is Ryan. 11 RBIs. Oh, it's 1-0 now to Rodemeyer. Ryan, the number 9 hitter, doing the catching here for Wausau. Opiola working with a 1-0 count. Pitch going to be hit out of play. Dayton Kobach attempting to give chase on that one. So it's 1-1 now to Rodemeyer.
60.
So Coach Opiola coming out here. Looks like a pitching change here. We'll go to a commercial break. You're listening to and watching American Legion Baseball, Regional Baseball on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment.
When it comes to vehicle maintenance and repairs, Stevens Point knows you can always put your trust in Auto Select. Keeping up with vehicle maintenance is often an inconvenience, but with locations on Highway 10 East and Church Street in Plover, Auto Select will have you back on the road in no time. Enjoy their 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty, along with shuttle service and loaner vehicles for your convenience. Quality, dependable, automotive care experts you can trust. In Stevens Point and Plover, at Auto Select, you're good to go.
If you're looking for delicious, you've found it at Rock and Roll Cafe in Stevens Point. This family-oriented 50s themed cafe is open 7 to 3 daily with a great diverse menu of American and Mexican breakfast and lunch options. Enjoy dine-in or carry-out 7 days a week and always served quickly, fresh, with a smile. For the full menu and more about this local Stevens Point gem on Stanley Street, visit rockandroll.cafe.
All right, we are back. Pitching change here. Pitch count for Josh Opiola, 60 pitches. He'll give way to right-hander Zach Richter, the long, lanky right-hander, and Zach Richter. He comes in here 2-4. He's 36 2/3 innings pitched here is Zach. And a 4.39 ERA. 21 strikeouts compared to 10 walks for Zach. He's one of those solid arms that Coach Opiola has alluded to throughout the course of this season here for the Sixers. Coach Opiola has mentioned they go 5 strong, and Zach's certainly one of those 5. He'll be in relief here and working with a 1-1 count and 2 outs to Ryan Rodemeyer, and Jackson Albee over at first. Again, that pitch count for Josh Opiola at 60. And Richter working from the stretch here for Stevens Point. And his first pitch will miss down low. It goes to 2-1 to Rodemeyer. Again, Ryan 0 for 1 here in this one. 2-1 pitch here from Richter. Fastball, and that's in there for a called strike. That one had a little bit extra on it, did for Zach there. And it's 2-2 now to Rodemeyer. And a runner going here. And that'll be in for a base hit. So Rodemeyer singles. Albee goes to second now, and Oliver Tarosky coming up here. He's 1 for 2. He singled in his last at-bat. And he's got a runner at first and Rodemeyer, and Albee at second. 2 outs. Richter working from the stretch here to leadoff hitter Tarosky. And Oliver will foul that one off. So it goes to 0-1 now. Oliver, a .274 hitter in the leadoff spot here for Wausau. 6 stolen bases for Oliver on the season. Richter working here with an 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, that'll miss high, and that'll get away from Kobach. Both runners advancing 90 feet now, and you got a couple runners in scoring position, and Albee at third and Rodemeyer at second. And it's 1-1 to Tarosky. So Richter certainly one of those heavy innings eaters for the Sixers with the 36 and 2/3 innings pitched. Second only to Opiola on innings pitched. And he misses high, so it's 2-1 now to Oliver. Iafaldano, the on-deck hitter for Wausau. Should Oliver reach here. Wausau clinging to the 1-0 advantage here in this one. Off-speed pitch in there for a called strike. It goes even 2-2 now. Twos are wild now. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Couple runners on base. And Richter's pitch. A swing and a miss. And that's a Serpro Jamie Wenzel strikeout for Zach Richter. Call Jamie Wenzel at Serpro for the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration. We move to the 5th inning of play. Wausau out front here 1-0. You're listening to and watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment.
Customize your next apparel order with Maida Custom Apparel of Stevens Point. Visit us today for custom baseball and softball apparel. Need help with a design? We have you covered. Our highly skilled staff will turn your idea into a reality with great quality screen printing. Or choose from a variety of embroidery options today. Visit us at our physical store or online at maidacustom.com.
At Nicolet Bank, we believe that our hometown communities are the backbone of what makes Wisconsin special. From Crivets to Manitowoc and Algoma to Grand Chute, you see a thriving community with Nicolet Bank working as a partner, acting not as a corporation, but a community. When we serve together with local entrepreneurs and leaders, great things happen. That is our guiding principle. A strong and successful hometown means a strong and successful Wisconsin. We are proud to be a part of that. Nicolet Bank. Real people, real conversations.
All right, we are back out here, 5th inning coming up here. I want to thank our many sponsors today. That's Culligan Water. Get Culligan Water for only $9.95 a month for the first 3 months. Visit Sterling Culligan Water at culliganh2o.com. So Lucas Hager will be back out for his 5th inning of work here for Wausau. He's pitched very well in this one through his first 4 innings, surrendering just the 1 base hit here. A walk and a strikeout here, and Braylon Smola will lead things off here for Stevens Point. He is 0 for 1 here today. He struck out back in inning number 2. And Hager working here, and his pitch is hit. And that will be right to Caden Worth for the first out here. First pitch, 1 out. And that'll bring the catcher, Dayton Kobach. Dayton was hit by a pitch back in inning number 3. His first plate appearance. So quickly 1 out here for Kobach. Fastball in there from Hager to Kobach, so it's 0-1. Kobach, he goes through, so it's 0-2 now. Our top half of inning number 5, and Hager skips that one down low and in the dirt, and it's 1-2 now to Kobach. Opiola, as we mentioned, goes the 60 pitches here, and it's 2-2 now here to Kobach. Pitch will get down, and it's low, and count goes full now to Dayton. So a full count to Dayton Kobach. Coach Brian Klisch over at first. Coach Bobby Opiola over at third for the Sixers. Full count coming up here to Kobach, and that ball will be in for a base hit for Dayton Kobach. So Dayton with a single to first here in this 5th inning here for Stevens Point, and that'll bring up the pinch hitter here in Braden Marschke, hitting here in the number 9 spot for Josh Opiola. Kobach aboard, just a second base hit here given up from Lucas Hager. That'll miss high to Marschke, so it's 1-0. So Hager 1-0 here to Braden Marschke, and that's in there for a called strike. We're in the top half of inning number 5. Loss out front here, 1-0 with Dayton Kobach over at first. Hager throwing back over to Smogaleski there, checking on Dayton. 1-1 pitch here. Ball hit on the ground, and that's going to get through for a base hit for Braden Marschke. So 2 consecutive hits here in the top half of inning number 5. Kobach down to second now. And we'll be back to the top of the order in Jacob Garth. Jacob is 0 for 2 here today. He grounded out to short in his last at-bat. He's got a couple of base runners here with 1 out. Stevens Point trying to claw into this thing here. 3 base hits thus far. 2 of those 3 coming in the last 2 hitters here. And it's 1-0 to Garth. Hager comes set the pitch. Garth getting the bunt down, and only play will be to 1, but both runners will advance 90 feet. So Kobach goes to third. Marschke to second.
Now batting at first baseman, Noah Marschke.
And that'll bring up Noah Marschke. He's 0 for 2 here today. A couple of ground outs to short. Both balls hit to Bartles. They'll intentionally walk Marschke.
Now batting center fielder, Peyton Flees.
So runners at every single bag here. Bases loaded, and Peyton Flees coming up. Peyton, he flew out to left field in his last at-bat back over in inning 4 here. That ball hit pretty well. Going back on it, and the play is made there, and that's Hayden Worth out there. So a couple of base hits, no runs, 3 stranded. We move to the bottom half of inning number 5. 1-0 Wausau. You're listening to and watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment.
At Nicolay Bank, we believe that our hometown communities are the backbone of what makes Wisconsin special. From Crivets to Manitowoc and Algoma to Grand Chute, you see a thriving community with Nicolay Bank working as a partner, acting not as a corporation, but a community. When we serve together with local entrepreneurs and leaders, great things happen. That is our guiding principle. A strong and successful hometown means a strong and successful Wisconsin. We are proud to be a part of that. Nicolay Bank. Real people, real conversations.
All right, we are back out here, bottom half of inning number 5 coming up. And Zach Richter back out on the hill in relief here for Josh Opiella, who started things off here. And Wausau will be coming up with 2, 3, 4. And Tony Eiffeldano, Luke Smogaleski, and Dylan Dobratz in the bottom half of this 5th inning. Wausau clinging to that 1-0 lead here in this first regional game for both of these teams here today. And Richter, again, he'll go through 2, 3, and 4 here. Starting off with Tony Eiffeldano. Tony is 0 for 2 this afternoon for Wausau. Tony, again, a .286 hitter coming into this one. That'll miss down low. So it goes 1-0 now. That'll miss high, so 2-0 now to Tony. Bottom of fifth here. Richter with a 2-0 count coming up to Tony Eiffeldown. He goes full now. That one misses down low. Smogaleski, the on-deck hitter for Wausau. And Richter in there for a called strike. So it's 3-1 now coming up to Tony Eiffeldown. Richter's 3-1 pitch fouled off. So it goes full now. Again, Wausau playing as the home team in this one. And that'll just miss, so Tony will be aboard with a base on ball to get things started here in this bottom half of inning 5 here. And that'll bring up Luke Smogaleski. He is 2 for 2 here today. He tripled and singled. Had that triple and run scored back in inning 1 and a single back in inning 3. So he's 2 for 2 here today for Wausau. 2 out, or 2 for 2 now, I beg your pardon. So 2 for 2 for Luke. Nobody out, and Eiffeldown down at first. Richter's pitch will miss. So it's 1-0 now to Smogaleski. He checks back on Eiffeldown there at first. Noah Marschke playing first here for Stevens Point. And the 1-0 pitch here coming up to Smogaleski. And that'll miss in, so it's 2-0 now. So the 2-0 pitch here from Richter. And that's in there for a called strike, so it's 2-1 now. Dylan Dobrot's the on-deck hitter for Wausau. Eiffeldown at first. Nobody out here. 2-1 to Smogaleski. And that'll miss high, so it goes a hitter's count, and 3-1 now to Luke. Luke, the .316 hitter for the Bulldogs. And that's in there for a called strike, so it's full now. In case you're just joining us here, Wausau out front 1-0. We're in the bottom half, inning number 5. That ball hit. And Smogaleski retired on the F7, and so 1 out now here for Dylan Dobrotz. Dylan is 1 for 2 this afternoon. Singled in inning 1 and flew out to right field in inning number 3. Eiffeldown still over at first. That's in there for a called strike. Richter's 0-1 pitch here to Dobrotz. And that misses high, so it's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, that's going to be lifted out into the air, and Marschke not able to, but he'll get the out at second.
Center fielder number 6, Caden Worth.
A couple outs now here for Caden Worth. Caden 0 for 2 here in this one. He's got Dobratz now over at first. There's 2 outs. And that'll miss up, so it's 1-0 now to Worth. Caden, a .290 hitter for the Bulldog squad here, and he looks at strike 1, so it's 1-1. Richter working from the stretch with Dobratz down over at first. And not able to come up with that and left, and that's, they'll probably score that a hit, I believe. And they do, so it's a hit here for Worth. Dobratz down to second now, Worth over at first, and Jesse Osnes coming up 0 for 2 here in this one. He flew out to center in his last at-bat, grounded to second in his first at-bat. And he's got a couple runners on now. That ball, a base hit. That'll get past Wade Marschke, and second run will come across for Wausau, and that's Dobratz coming in to score. So Osnes with an RBI single. And that brings up Jackson Albee now. Looks like we'll have a pinch runner there, and that looks to be Davis Winter. Pinch running for Osnes. Runners at the corner now with Worth at third and Winter over at first. Jackson Albee coming up here. Jackson is 0 for 1 here today. A couple runners on base here with Worth at third and Winter at first. That ball going to be a base hit, and that Fleas will get there, and another run coming in here. Play going to second, and they'll get the out at second. A run will score on that. So the score now goes 3-0. We're through 5 innings complete. We'll move to the 6th inning of play. You're listening to and watching American Legion Baseball here on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment.
Hello, Wisconsin. Phelps Dairy Store in Stevens Point is your spot for family fun. Wisconsin style at the farm. Come have an ice cream or some of their daily made fresh cheese curds while observing the robotic barn milking the cows. Ask for a tour of the farm or let the kids see the cows up close. Various Wisconsin-made dairy and beef products, seasonal decor, and outdoor activities are just the start of the family fun that awaits you at the Phelps Dairy Store, just a half mile from Walmart in Stevens Point. Phelps Dairy Store, food, family, and fun.
Rich, creamy, and fun. Point Craft Soda. Caffeine free, made with 100% real sugar. From Stevens Point Brewery.
All right, we are back out here. 6th inning coming up. Stevens Point will lead off with 4, 5, and 6. They trail now 3-0. Wausau with 2 runs in that last frame. Lucas Hager out for his 6th inning of work here for Wausau. I want to give thanks to our game day sponsors here, Liers Jewelers and Premier Auto. And we're in the top half of inning number 6, and Caden Adam will lead things off here for Stevens Point. Caden is 0 for 1 today. He walked and flew out to left field. And Hager in there with a called strike. And it's 0-1 now to Adam. And a swing and a miss to Adam, so it's quickly 0-2 now. Ball hit on the ground, that's going to be foul. So it'll remain 0-2 now to Adam. Adam again, the .348 average during the season prior to regionals here. And that's going to be hit. And that'll be a base hit for Caden Adam to get things started here in this top half of inning 6. And that'll bring up number 5 hitter here in Matthew Ostrowski. Matthew is 0 for 2 here today. He's got Adam with a leadoff base hit here in this top half of inning number 6. Wausau out front here again, 3-0. And that pitch in there to Ostrowski for a called strike 1, and it's 0-1 now. And that's called strike 2, so it's 0-2 now here to Ostrowski. Adam down at first. Lucas Hager working out of the stretch in his 6th inning, and that ball hit out, and that'll be a base hit for Ostrowski. So a couple consecutive singles here to lead things off here for Stevens Point. Caden Adam going to second on that, and Ostrowski down to first. And that'll bring up Zach Richter. Zach is 1 for 2 here today. He singled in inning number 2. Flew out to center in inning number 4. And there's nobody out here for Zach, who of course we've seen out on the hill here in relief of Josh Opiola, who started things off here for the Sixers on the hill. He'll bunt that one down. Hager will make the play, and Richter will be out. But both runners advancing 90 feet now.
Now batting the left fielder, Braylon Smolla.
And that'll bring up left fielder Braylon Smolla. Braylon 0 for 2 here today. Flew out to center field in his last at-bat. Struck out in inning number 2. Couple runners in scoring position now. 1 out, and Smolla. Hager's pitch here is down low, and it's 1-0. So Braylon, a .267 average on this Legion season. And fastball in there from Hager to even it up at 1-1 now. Adam over at third, Ostrowski down at second. 1-1 pitch here to Smolla. And that's in there for a called strike 2, so it's 1-2 now. The 1-2 pitch here from Hager. That ball is going to be hit out to center, and that'll be a hit. A run will come across here, and an RBI single for Braylon Smolla. 3rd hit here this inning. And the Sixers on the board now.
Now batting the catcher, Dayton Kovac.
So Ostrowski down to 3rd now, and Smolla aboard with a base hit. Runners at the corner now for Dayton Kovac. Dayton is 1 for 1 here today. He singled back in inning number 5. So runners at the corner now for Stevens Point. It's now 3-1. With Smolla over at first. And Ostrowski over at third. Stevens Point trying to claw back in this one. Trailing here 3-1. And a run will score in Ostrowski. And Smolla out on the base paths there. for the second out, but Ostrowski comes in to score, so the second run coming in here. So it's a 3-2 ball game now. Base is empty. And Kobach so Hager in there for a called strike to Kobach. And it's 0-1 now. The 0-1 pitch here. That's in there for a called strike too. So it is 0-2 now here to Dayton Kobach. And a 3-pitch, 3-out. Third out here, but it's Stevens Point with 3 base hits and a couple runs. It's now a 3-2 game. We'll move to the bottom half of inning 6. Listening to and watching American Legion Baseball on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Shad from Next Step Prosthetics. 5 years ago, we opened our practice to provide life-changing prosthetics that are both comfortable and functional.
I would definitely recommend Chai.
Chai is very compassionate, caring.
We've grown to serve patients throughout Wisconsin. We want to thank them, their families, and providers who have trusted us on their journey.
Go to Next Step because it's going to change your life.
Why wait another day? Call to set up a free, no-obligation evaluation. Let us take the next step together towards a better life.
Let your job journey begin at Express Employment Professionals. Find hundreds of employers looking for a candidate like you, all in one place at one time. And let Express Employment help connect you with your future career. With locations in Stevens Point, Wausau, Marshfield, and Medford, you'll find local jobs right in your community, including direct hire and evaluation to hire opportunities. Express Employment specializes in light industrial, skilled trades, professional, and office careers. Begin your job journey today with Express Employment Professionals at expresspros.com.
All right, we are back out here. We're in the bottom half of inning number 6 here. Stevens Point gets a couple in that last half inning. So they trim the margin down by 1. It's 3-2 Wausau here. We're in the bottom half of inning number 6. And 8-9-1 here for Wausau. And if things stay as I suspect they might, that would be Bartles, Rodemeyer, and Tarosky. So 8-9-1 coming up, and Zach Richter back out for his third inning of work here for Stevens Point. Mutual of Wausau Insurance, protecting homes, farms, and businesses since 1875. Visit mutualofwausau.com to find an agent near you. So late goings here in this one. And Bartles coming up here. Jack is 1 for 2 in this one. He singled in inning number 2. So Jack 1 for 2, his third at bat here, with Richter out on the hill from the windup here. And Richter misses down low and away, so it's 1-0 now. So the 1-0 here to Bartles from Richter, and that is just missed, so it's 2-0 now. Richter's 2-0 pitch here to Bartles. That misses in, so it's a 3-0 count now. You've got Rodemeyer as the on-deck hitter here for Wausau. That'll miss down though, so base on ball, and Bartles going to be aboard now. And that brings up Ryan Rodemeyer. Ryan 1 for 2 here today. He singled back in the 4th. He's got Bartles down at first. Richter will check on him with Marschke there. Richter checking back on Bartles there. So So it's a 3-2 game here. Wausau out front 3-2. Bottom half inning number 6. Nobody out. Richter checking back again on Bartles. And the bunt placed. Richter will flip that. And the flip over there, not able to get there, and Rodemeyer aboard. That'll be an error. And that'll bring up Oliver Tarosky now. Oliver 1 for 3 here. Singled in inning 3. Couple of base runners with Bartles out at second, Rodemeyer down at first. Still nobody out here for Zach Richter and the Sixers. And Tarosky showing bunt. He'll get the bunt down and over there, and another run will score. Second run coming across here. And both Bartles and Rodemeyer will score on that. And Tarosky ends up over at third. So a couple of, what I'll say, costly errors and a couple runs come across now, and it's now a 5-2 baseball game, and Eifeldano coming up at 1-0 count now. Calling for it, and Ostrowski will make the play out at second.
First baseman, Luke Smogoleski.
Or the first out here. Yeah, 4 for out number 1, and that'll bring up Luke Smogoleski, 2 for 3 today. Tripled, singled, and scored a run. He's got Tarosky out at first. And Smogoleski fouling that one off, so it's 0-1 now. So the 0-1 pitch here from Richter. Ball hit over to Ostrowski. He'll make the play, and the 4-3 for the second out to retire Smogoleski for out number 2, but another run will score on that. So it's a 6-2 ball game now, and Dylan Dobrot's coming up. Dylan singled in inning 1. Flew out to right in his 3rd inning and reached on an error back in the 5th. So a couple outs now, 1-0 to Dobrot's. That's in there for a called strike, so it's 1-1 now. So the 1-1 pitch here from Richter. Hit on the ground, and a base hit for Dobrot's. And that's his second hit here today. A 2-out single for Dobrot's, and that'll bring up Caden Worth now. And that's a called strike to Worth. Caden 1 for 3 today. Dobrot's down at first. 0-1 offering here. That's going to be foul. And it's 0-2 now to Caden Worth. So it's a 6-2 ball game. Wausau with a 4-run lead in the bottom of the 6th here. And Richter misses. High to Worth now, so it's 1-2. That ball, Kobach giving chase, and he will make the play there for the 3rd out, does Dayton Kobach. But it's a 6-2 game now. We move to the 7th inning. Stevens Point coming up, last wraps. You're listening to and watching American Legion Baseball here on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment.
After a couple years of a job that doesn't fit, it's time for more money, more opportunity. That is where Mid-State Technical College comes in. Would cooking be a good fit? Try on a career in welding. Perhaps the outdoors suits you better. Or maybe helping people is a better fit. No matter your path, we've got cutting-edge classes with field-trained professionals and better tuition options, making Mid-State the perfect fit.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love home furniture.
Hi, this is Jill from Home Furniture and Design. Since 1970 and 4 generations, our family has been proudly offering quality furniture like Lazy Boy, Serta, and the Amish to Central Wisconsin. We also offer free in-home design with our professionally trained designers to help you create a space that is uniquely yours, whether it's just a sofa or the entire home.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love home furniture.
West Grand Avenue, Wisconsin Rapids, and Post Road in Plover.
All right, we are back out here for the 7th. Last call coming up here for Stevens Point. They'll have 9, 1, and 2. And Lucas Hager out for his 7th inning of work here. And Braden Marschke coming up. Braden singled in his last at-bat. He was a pinch hitter for Josh Opiola. Hitting here in the 9 spot. And Hager set, and he's in there for a called strike to Marschke, so it's an 0-1 count now. And Marschke will foul that one down near the third base foul territory area, so it's an 0-2 count now to Braden Marschke. All misses, so it's 1-2. Hager's 1-2 pitch coming up. And Marschke down on strikes, swinging, and first out. In the top half of inning 7, and the top of the order, and Jacob Garth coming up. So a 1 out here, and Jacob Garth. And that ball is in there for a called strike to Garth, so it's 0-1 now. Noah Marschke, the on-deck hitter for Stevens Point. Garth, that'll be a base hit for Jake Garth. So a 1-out single. And that'll bring up left-handed hitting Noah Marschke. Noah 0 for 2 here today. Couple of ground outs to short and intentionally walked in the 5th. So he's got Jacob Garth aboard now with 1 out. Hager working out of the stretch, the pitch. That misses, so it's 1-0. The number 2 hitter here in Noah Marschke. 1-0 pitch. And that's in there for a called strike. It's 1-1 now. The 1-1 pitch to Marschke. And that play will be made out in left, and that's Dylan Dobrot's out there for the 2nd out. Peyton Flees now with 2 outs. And Jacob Garth down at first. Hager works from the stretch here. Pitch to Fleas. That ball hit pretty well. And that'll be off the wall for Fleas, and Garth coming around to score. Fleas chugging into second, and Fleas will be in with a stand-up double and an RBI to keep this inning going and this game going for that matter.
Now batting the third baseman.
So now a 6-3 game. With Fleas stand-up double and Caden Adam coming up now. Caden is 1 for 2 here today. He singled and scored a run in his last at-bat in the 6th. He's got Fleas down at second. Hager from the stretch. And that's in there for a called strike to Adam, so it's 0-1 now. There's 2 outs here in this top half of inning number 7. Ball hit on the ground to short. And the play is made, and the 6-3 put out to retire Caden Adam for the 3rd out. And that's a final here, 6-3. Wausau comes out of here. We'll have our Nasonville Dairy postgame. Coming up next is a Nasonville Dairy postgame show. Nasonville Dairy with fresh cheese curds made daily. Get your cheese curds. Nasonville Dairy in Marshfield, Curtis, or NasonvilleDairy.com. Hopefully we'll get a few words with Coach Tom Magnuson in our Nasonville Dairy postgame. Again, a final here, 6-3. Been watching to and listening to regional American Legion baseball here on Zaleski Sports. Back in a moment for our Nasonville Dairy postgame show.
Good day. My name is Ken Hyman, and welcome to Nasonville Dairy here in central Wisconsin, Marshfield, Wisconsin, as a matter of fact. Nasonville Dairy actually goes back to 1885. We are the oldest plant in Wood County. When our father brought us here in the early 1960s, we ran 7,500 pounds of milk a day. We now run 1.8 million pounds of milk a day. We buy dairy milk from 200 dairy farmers here in central Wisconsin, produce it, and ship it all over the world. We make a lot of different cheeses. We make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmer's Cheese, Peach Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Freer, Seco, Parm, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Caflatiri, Cafla Graviera, 20 different flavors of Monterey, as well as making Edam, Gouda, and Munster. This has allowed us to go to a lot of different countries. Our furthest accounts are now in China, Japan, Canada, Saudi Arabia. We do ship to Mexico, as well as a number of other places throughout the world. This is what we call Cheese Making 101. We tried to walk you through the cheese plant today, and we're in hopes that you see our people, what they're doing, and the amount of work that goes into producing the products that we hope you enjoy.
Good. All right, we're back out here at Zaleski Sports. Brandon Berencott here with head coach Tom Magnuson. You guys come out of here 6-3 victory against a very, very good Stevens Point team. Talk about a game like this today, Coach.
Well, you know, we've struggled all season to win games. I mean, we had a poor record overall, poor record in the conference. But second season, the old cliche, it's a new season. The other games don't mean anything. And we were able to get that run on the board in the first inning. And we've got a good pitcher who's going to shut teams down, and Hager was able to do that again today. And then we added on. That's the important thing. We added on. I know that they threw some bunts away, but I told them, you get bunts down and stuff happens, and we were able to do that.
Yeah, and you did that. And as you said, Lucas with a really nice complete game today, pitched really, really well for you guys. You got those insurance runs late in the game, which really kind of added to the appeal. But second season, really, like you said, it's a brand new season here. What do you look forward to in these next several days here, Coach?
Well, I've been doing this a long time, and you know, you've seen the first two games already, probably upsets in both of them. I mean, Marshfield knocked Lewis out and beat Wisconsin Rapids, and we beat Stevens Point after they beat us, I think, 3 times this year. So you never know what you're going to get in this, and we're just happy to be in the winners bracket, and we can play tomorrow night.
Keep on playing tomorrow night. Well, Coach, anything more before we get you on your way? Coach Tom Magnuson here, anything else?
I just want to give a shout out again to our pitcher, Lucas Hager. I mean, he's been solid all year. I mean, I think he had one bad game the entire season, and he just shuts teams down. And I know it's frustrating for some of these teams because he doesn't throw as hard as some of these guys, but he's able to throw strikes and get contact, get pop-ups, get fly balls, and he was able to do that again today. Good performance by him.
Well, Coach, I'm going to give you good luck to you guys tomorrow night. Coach Tom Magnuson. Victory tonight. They advance to play Marshfield. You've been listening to and watching regional baseball here on Zaleski Sports. Brandon Barancott on the call here. Tom Magnuson, his team here. Have yourselves a good tonight. Have a good night.